Thyra stood frozen in the entrance of the briefing room, beak open in disbelief. "I've never seen so many of us in one place." "It is certainly exciting, is it not?" Antonio stated as he walked in behind her and sat down. The Gryphons chatted amongst themselves, some introducing themselves to others for the first time, while others looked like they had known one another for some time. They came in all colors and sizes, ranging from exotic to common avian variety. Thyra made eye contact with some of them and immediately felt out of place. These Gryphons were professionals, and she was a newcomer without any experience to show. Rachel was by far the smallest of the Gryphons in the room. She gulped nervously and jumped up on top of Thyra's back, finding herself more comfortable with the elevated view. "What do we do?" she asked. Thyra twitched and looked back at Rachel in surprise, but did not mind it all that much. In fact, she quite enjoyed having the pygmy Gryphoness safe on her back. Thyra shared a look of uncertainty with her before heading towards the corner of the room. "I think I'll just stand over here for now." Antonio followed, and the small party separated themselves from the busy squawks and chirping of the other Gryphons in the room. A couple Gryphons saw the newcomers and started to head towards them, but then the room became very quiet. Everyone turned their attentions towards the front of the room as an enormous Gryphon walked in through a side door. His facial feathers were dark gray, though most of his body was the same shade of blue as light denim, and he sported crest feathers that stood up as long as Rachel's body. His black eyes glared across the room, and Thyra grew giddy with excitement, recognizing this broad size and colors from anywhere. "That's Victor Sousa!" Thyra exclaimed quietly to her two partners. Antonio leaned over, not daring taking his eyes off the imposing Gryphon standing in front of them.
"Yes, he used to be the new coach for."
"You, Redtail, Harris, quiet now!"
Victor's voice boomed, protruding loudly through the air with such power it felt like he was yelling straight into their faces. Both Thyra and Antonio's feathers pressed tightly in fear against their body, making them seem much smaller than they actually were. The Gryphons swallowed hard and stood as still as statues while Victor stared them down with cold, dark eyes. It made him all the more threatening. His gaze finally broke from theirs, and he began pacing slowly from wall to wall as he addressed the team as a whole.
"Those of you who have played for me in the past know this to be true. I am not here to be your friend. I am not here to be your pal. I am here to be your coach. You're not going to like me. You may even come to loathe me, but in the end, you will thank me for it."
All was quiet in the meeting room save for the Gryphon's booming voice and sounds of his talons against the hardwood floor. None of the other Gryphons dared to move. Thyra could barely breathe.
"Today's test will separate the wheat from the chaff. I have no room on my team for losers and weaklings. Those of you who fail today will be sent home without a second thought. For this year, I will bring this team to the First League. We will win, and we will succeed."
Victor stopped and turned his whole body to face the group of Gryphons in front of him.
"Do I make myself clear?"
"Yes, sir!" The group shouted in unison, their backs ramrod straight. A faint grin appeared along his viciously curved gray beak before he turned and headed towards the exit on the far side of the room.
"Good. No time to waste. Everyone, follow me."
Some of the Gryphons stood up and followed Victor out immediately, while others took more time to regain their thoughts and make their limbs move once again. "Does he really mean to fire us if we don't pass?" A pure black Gryphon questioned Thyra as she brushed past him. "I really don't know," Thyra replied. He swallowed and fluffed up his feathers with worry before following along closely. One Gryphon at the front of the group began to laugh and turned his head to look at the black Gryphon.
"If you doubt yourself, go ahead and leave. We don't need you."
His white beak shone in the hallway light as they headed towards the field. His cere was bright yellow, his eyes just as dark and cold as Victor's. He puffed up his chocolate-covered chest feathers, streaks of white showing up in contrast, and resettled his wings.